There's a strange kind of exhaustion that creeps in not from physical work, but from constantly explaining yourself to people who don't even care. We spend far too much time justifying our decisions, defending our dreams, and waiting for permission that never really mattered. Every second spent trying to prove something to someone else is a second stolen from your own progress. Because the truth is, those explanations don't build your vision. They distract you from it. The answer? Shift the focus inward. Turn the energy away from trying to be seen and towards simply becoming. Everything changes when you stop seeking external validation and begin building from within. Success doesn't come from talking about what you're going to do. It doesn't come from convincing others that you're capable. Success comes from showing up, consistently, quietly and relentlessly, when no one else is watching. That's where it's built, in discipline, in repetition, in silent private effort. The reason most people never get what they want isn't because they're not good enough. It's because they are distracted. They let the noise of the world get in the way. They drown themselves in comparison. They scroll and scroll and scroll, measuring their journey against other people's highlight reels. They worry about what others think instead of asking what they think. They argue with people who never had their best interests in mind. They waste energy defending themselves in conversations that go nowhere. And at the end of the day, they're tired. Not tired from the mission, but tired from the noise, frustrated, drained, stuck. They never even got to touch their potential, not because it wasn't there, but because it was buried under distractions. The solution isn't more speed, it's more clarity. You want to move forward, eliminate what doesn't serve you. Stop explaining, stop performing, just focus on what truly matters. When you do that, when you cut the noise, the opinions, the scrolling, the need to be understood, you become unstoppable. Because here's what most never talk about. Success is built in silence. It's built in the early mornings when no one else is awake. It's built in those moments when you choose progress over comfort. It's built when you train in private, without applause, without recognition, without needing to be seen. It's built when you keep going, even when no one is clapping. And here's something most people forget. You don't need an audience. You don't need anyone to clap. You don't even need approval. You need consistency. You need to focus on yourself, on your growth, on your learning. You need discipline, that quiet, unglamorous decision to show up day after day. Because the moment you start truly committing to that, everything changes. Opportunities begin to appear. You make smarter choices. You feel more confident, not because someone told you you're good, but because your own actions have shown you what you're capable of. You begin to trust yourself. This shift, this inward focus, isn't about cutting the world off. It's about protecting your energy. It's about being selective. Not every person deserves access to your thoughts. Not every conversation deserves your reply. Not every opinion deserves your time. You get to decide where your attention goes. And when you take that seriously, your entire life shifts. Focus is a superpower. Guard it, and you gain control. That's when your work starts to speak. That's when the results begin to speak for themselves. Not because you shouted louder, but because you stayed consistent in silence. And here's your challenge. Stop talking about what you're going to do. Stop worrying about what others think. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or the green light from someone else. Just do the work, just show up, focus inward, repeat, because what you focus on expands. Focus on growth and you grow. Focus on discipline and you build habits that carry you forward. Focus on learning and your entire perspective evolves. Your energy is your most powerful resource. Most people never realize how much control they actually have. Every thought, every action, every choice, it shapes your reality in ways you can't always see immediately. But your brain is listening. Every repetition is teaching it something. Every decision is reinforcing a path. Most people spend their energy in all the wrong places. They focus on what's missing instead of what's possible. They give their best hours to distraction instead of discipline. They base their self-worth on someone else's opinion rather than their own progress. And then they wonder why they feel empty. The truth is, your life becomes a reflection of where your attention goes. Feed it negativity, That's what your world becomes. Surround yourself with low standards, you'll adopt them as your own. But when you shift your energy towards self-improvement, your entire world begins to change. And there's even science behind it. Your brain is wired to find more of what you focus on. There's a filter in your brain, the part that determines what reaches your conscious awareness. It's always working, whether you're aware of it or not. Feed it empowering thoughts, and it begins to highlight empowering opportunities. That's why intentional focus is so powerful. So what do? You put in the work. You don't have to know every step. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to decide where your attention goes and protect it like your future depends on it, because it does. And from that place, something powerful begins to grow. Confidence, but not the fake kind, not the version built from compliments or likes or applause. Real confidence, the kind built from action, the kind you earn by doing what you said you would, the kind that grows every time you prove to yourself that you can follow through. So if you've been waiting for the perfect moment, stop. If you've been hesitating because you're afraid of what they'll think, let it go. You don't need perfect clarity. You don't need permission. You need to begin. Because most people fail not because they couldn't do it, but because they stopped too soon. They got impatient. They expected instant progress. They got discouraged and they quit. Then they went back to old habits, telling themselves the story that they'll try again later. But the truth, the secret to real success, is found in the compound effect of quiet self-improvement. It's not one massive breakthrough, it's the small actions taken daily, consistently, without drama. Those little choices, they build something massive over time, and if you just keep going, you'll wake up one day and realize you've become everything you used to dream about. Not because you talked about it, but because you never stopped building it.